Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch, February the 17th until the 21st. Let's have a look what we've got this week. Graveyard Keeper Undead Edition is a long-awaited physical release. I remember when it released digitally in like 2019 and thinking, you know what, I'll wait for the inevitable physical release. Fast forward 6 years later and we are finally there. Patience is a virtue. When I mentioned this in the just announced video series, I was a little over-eager to state that all the DLC is included in this cartridge version, but I was mistaken. Most of the DLC is included here, but not all. I think there's like one piece of DLC not included, and that's because it's not actually on the Switch for technical reasons. And my executive producers, Super Ben Julio, Dave Huswaite, Dane Wilkinson, Alex M, Feig, God of Resin, Precision Plague, JCross7776, Wixit, and my brand new executive Brotorius have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it or any of the retail games in this video, please consider purchasing via the links in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps me out and this series to keep producing useful physical content for you guys. VGP are a great company with cheap prices in Canadian Monopoly money and free worldwide shipping on orders over 80 Canadian bucks, which is less than 60 American dollars. Plus, each week, if you buy something, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Drew W. Congratulations, Drew. You should get an email from VGP with your discount coupon in the coming days. Thank you for your support. What else have we got this week? The Plucky Squire is finally getting its physical release after releasing digitally what seems like half a year ago at this point. Good game, very nice little adventure with lots of inventive play, switching between worlds and gameplay types. Huge use of imagination. Yeah, the moment-to-moment gameplay is quite simple, but I really enjoyed my time with it when I played it on PlayStation 5. I have not played the Switch version, but I think we all know what we can expect. You know, it works fine, but obviously a bit of a downgrade. And, you know, visuals are a big part of the experience here. This is coming in a standard edition as well as a deluxe edition, which comes with a nice art book, a soundtrack, but it is worth noting that in North America the soundtrack is a download, whereas in Europe an actual CD. And my executive producers Punky Dooster, Issa, Thorn Metal Luna, The Nemo 6, Lewis K, Jeddah Crow and Sora Cat have chosen this as their pick of the week. Muse Dash is releasing in North America this week, being unshackled from its label as an import exclusive. Yeah, this was released physically in Japan in 2021. It had English, but it wasn't a huge print, so it's never been like excessively easy to get a hold of. But this North American release will include a more complete version of the cartridge, because I'm sure there's been plenty of updates and content since the original release. It's a rhythm game with supposedly pretty good music and gameplay. It has a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which has a special cover art, a cartridge case, pin set, and lenticular cards. And my executive producers, Ghost Bune, Ishin, and Alexander Kato have chosen this as their pick of the week. Silt is releasing physically this week only in Europe, I believe. It's on Switch, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. It's an underwater puzzle adventure game which sounds pretty snazzy. I think when I talked about it in, the Pix N Love special edition, like quite a while back, I was probably a bit cold on it, but there's some really nice visuals going on here. If you're into Limbo and Inside, this looks to be one to add to your collection. Speaking of which, what happened to the Limbo devs? They haven't released anything in like almost a decade at this point. And my executive producer Azrath has chosen this as his pick of the week. Secret Neighbor plus Hello Engineer is a double pack of 2 games in the increasingly hard to follow Hello Neighbor universe. 2 very different games. One seems to be a construction puzzle game and the other maybe a bit more standard of what you'd expect from the franchise, crushing disappointments. Maybe they've gotten better a lot since the first release, I don't know, but I suppose it's nice to have 2 games together on one cartridge rather than split over 2, right? You don't want to pay twice. Alright, let's jump into the low print limited releases, but before we do that, look, I haven't said this in a while, but if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so, okay? I want this channel to grow, and the bigger this channel is, the more companies will pay attention to physical releases. Like if they see this channel have like 100,000 like subscribers, they'll think, oh, maybe people do like physical releases, and then maybe there'll be more physical releases of games that we really want. So subscribe, do me a favor. I want to get to 30,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That's my goal. Let's do it, guys. Alright, Banner of Ruins is Red Hot Games' latest Switch release. Pre-orders are open right now, and it's a deck building roguelike, which means they've gone all out with a big collector's edition, because for some reason the genre is popular because of like one game propping up the whole facade. Anyways, I'm creating my own narrative there. Because it's a European exclusive release, Red Hot Games on their website have an exclusive deluxe edition, which is the same price as the standard edition and includes a deluxe sleeve, double-sided poster, and postcards. This is only available at redhotgames.com, and you can get 10% off with the code Jordan10 if you click the link below. But the standard and collector's editions, yeah, there's 3 editions in total, those standard and collector's editions you can get from VGP if you want to. Like if you're in North America, that's a good way to pick them up for you. And my executive producers, D's Nuts, Robotech, and Jake Vav have chosen this as their pick of the week. Elypse may already have had pre-orders for a retail release in North America, and it's been a while for that too, but now it is Europe's turn, with Pix N Love doing it. I'm sure there will be a retail release as well, but their website has their exclusive cover version as well as a mini collector's edition that on Switch is limited to just 600 copies. This has a reversible cover, soundtrack on a USB stick, keychain, sticker sheet, and a sleeve. Pre-orders are open right now at Pix N Love's website, and it's also available on PlayStation 5. And my executive producer, Instacritic, has chosen this as his pick of the week. The Phantom is limited runs released this week, and this is based off a comic I've never heard of, but I know people are excited about it. The game's not even out yet properly, so we don't know if it's good or not, but it's given me serious vibes of the Night Slasher remake. I mean, the art style, animation, it's pretty much exactly the same, and yet people laugh at Night Slashers, but are excited by this. Like, I'm a bystander looking on. I don't give a monkeys about which one's good or if they're good or not, but I do find it weird to see such different opinions on two things that look almost the same. Is that just me? I don't know. You can pre-order this at limited run on Tuesday for Switch and PlayStation 5. And my executive producers, Cartoon Soren, Dave Horworth, Brent McLean, and Kevin W. have chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, let's jump into the import releases. If you check the links below for these, you'll get directed to Play Asia, and you can get 5% off if you use the code Jordan2025. Night Slashers Remake. Yeah, here we go, almost like magic, what a coincidence. Night Slashers is getting a physical release this week, but only in Japan. There is no Western physical, at least not one that's been announced, and I'd be surprised if anyone took it on. Reviews are not great for this. Now, I've not played it, but I've seen it, and my eyes are still angry at me. They've been ignoring me for days. But if you're nostalgic for the original, and maybe you're partially sighted, who am I to judge? Your optometrist, that's who I'll judge. This is releasing in Japan, but does have English, is fairly affordable, and will be on Switch, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 if you want true 4K vomit. And my executive producers, Josh Foot, and my man in Japan, Vey, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Japan is also getting Botany Manor, which already released in Asian regions. Asia is getting Metal Slug Tactics this week with English, but Europe is getting a retail release next week, I think, and Limited Run are handling the North American one. Who knows what's going on there? And also in Japan, there's a Cosmic Fantasy Memorial Collection. Sadly, it doesn't have English. I did email the developers. They worked with Limited Run to do English for their version, so I said, hey, you know what? I can see this collection coming up. How about you pop English onto this Japanese release? I'm sure like more people would buy it, but they didn't reply to me. All right, let's jump into the community spotlight. McLaren sent in this photo picking up a triple helping of the Taito milestones, which seem to be getting better and better with each entry. So much so, I'm really hoping they whip out a volume 4, because at this rate, it might be the best thing ever. Executive producer Cartoon Soren sent in this photo with a haul from Limited Run. Gotta be honest, some really interesting games. Maybe the retro collections could have been beefed up with more games, but I appreciate keeping these random retro releases alive. Dan B sent in this photo picking up a bunch of imports, some exclusive, some not, but still always nice to see. And I do love that Valhalla cover art, and I don't even know why. I know limited runs had like decent art in itself and more in line with the actual game, but there's just something really eye-catching about this Japanese one. Executive producer Kevin W sent in this photo with Mary Skelter 2, which always surprises me when I remember that it includes the first game as well. It's really a double pack, but they don't really say it. Cultured Weeb lived up to their name with a purchase of Mugen Souls Z or Z. I'm actually surprised PlayAsia still have the collector's edition in stock. Same with the original. Maybe they knew, they want to make the most of it having such a big name release and printed more copies than they normally do for collector's editions. Polaire TM sent in this photo looking like they bought 2 copies of Trails Through Daybreak 2, which, when Suikoden comes along, boy, am I going to support that with a couple of purchases. The series, especially the first game, means a lot to me, and I want it to do well, so I'm going to buy 2 copies. Executive producer Sora Cat sent in this photo, also picking up Daybreak 2, the collector's edition, but on PlayStation 5, and kindly showed us the inner guts of what's included. Always nice to have a good map. Nick K sent in this photo with a very early delivery of Stories from Sol. According to my schedule, it should be releasing next week, and I think it looks great. Just a shame there's no North American Switch physical. I don't know what's going on with PM Studios, but they have been neglecting the Switch for a lot of games recently, and I do wonder, do they have a partnership with Limited Run for Switch versions of some of their games, including this one? I think so. Executive producer Azra sent in this photo picking up the collector's edition of Animal Well, the standard of which VGP have intermittently been getting copies of, but usually when I'm asleep. Damn time zones. Morality sent in this photo with Tomba. I heard the modern port isn't the best, quite a few technical hiccups, but they tried. I recently got a PlayStation 1 with X-Station installed, so I may boot this up on there and try it for myself. I heard it's a bit of a classic. Executive producer Thorn Metal Luna sent in this photo with Mika and the Witch's Mountain. That's the Kickstarter cover version with the retail Japanese release happening in March, so you'll still have to wait a little bit of time for that. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this photo picking up 2 Exa lickers. I thought licking 1 X was enough of a bad idea, but 2, that is asking for trouble. Never lick 2 X's. Executive producer Lewis K sent in this photo with Homebody, which actually looks like a really interesting horror game. Well, if it wasn't for the Disney Pixar character designs, that's the only thing that's putting me off. Rainbow Pickle Gaming sent in this photo with the Grisaya trilogy. Say goodbye to 100 hours of your life reading these. Absolute monster of a release, and I've heard they're really good. Executive producer Vei, my man in Japan, picked up the 2 Japanese exclusives from last week, the Simple Escape Chronicles series thing, and Urban Myth Dissolution Center. I was really hoping the publisher would send me a copy to download, for a review, but they never did get back to me on that one. That's a shame. My executive producer, Dave Horworth, sent in this photo picking up Postal Brain Damage, which will appear in a video I'm currently researching, first-person shooter physicals on the Switch. Currently not that many compared to what you may think, but maybe I'll do a second sweep of research to make sure I've not missed loads of them. And I'll probably ask those in my Discord to chip in as well, check over my list, see if I've missed anything before publishing it. If you want to join the Discord, do so with the link below. Alright, let's have a roundup. Stefan N, Andrew R, Bridget F, Pabs, Choco Loco James, Theo, Mickey McFlynn, Kresalak, Elissa, Vast Neon. Alright, please send me your pictures. You know where to send them. The details are on the screen right now. Special thanks, as always, to my executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Issa, Vey, Offphone, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Feig, Josh Foot, Ishin, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Double Dave, Husway and Horworth, Wixit, Sora Cat, The Nemo 6, Ghost Bune, G Bautista 100, Rose, Adamantium, Azrath, Jake Vav, Ethan Blue, D's Nuts, Jeddah Crow, and my brand new executive producer, Brotorius. Thank you so much for your support. Plus you watching right now, if you watched all the way through, you are a legend because you will help this series and this channel grow. The longer you watch, the more YouTube promotes me to other people. If you watched all the way through, please leave me a tombstone emoji in honor of the Graveyard Keeper. Check out some of my other stuff. I had a couple of videos over the weekend. If you didn't see them, go watch them now. Support the channel. Thank you so much. Have a great day.